358.
Nice. Yeah, if I buy a few pieces of these 389 gear that's like floating around for like 250k each or something, that's like BOE's coming out of the raid, maybe I can get them. But
Damn.
they're coming down. They were like 400,000 like yesterday. So
I saw some that I could buy for 180k.
I've seen some that were like over a million, like 2 million for the heroic versions, but it's only because there's like one person that has it.
Mm-hmm.
So they just charge whatever they want. They're probably not going to get that.
Right.
That's a lot of gold.
Do you have over a million?
I don't know. If I actually sold all the items in my inventory, I might. I have like 900 something thousand plus everything in my inventory.
So like you still have like mats and like minerals and stuff you could sell probably.
Yeah. And alchemy is absolutely worthless. I haven't gotten almost anything from alchemy. It's all jewel crafting. And so I'm thinking of dropping alchemy and like doing something else because it's just stupid. Every item you're underwater, like every potion, every ingredient, everything, you're losing money in alchemy. I'm like, why the hell does anyone even do this? And
Yeah.
to even get the good potions and stuff, it's random. Like you have to do this experimentation thing that costs artisan's metal, which is a fairly scarce resource, and it's just not guaranteed.
What do you use artisan metal for?
So you only use it for crafting, but you can also use it even if you're just a gatherer. Are you double gatherer? Hey, what's up, everybody?
Yeah.
So you can commission like better gathering equipment with your artisan's metal. So if you go into the crafting order place, like you could
do
get.
You know how much I have?
How much?
I have like 352.
Damn. Yeah, that's pretty good. Typically, you can use it to craft like some higher level gear, but it almost always has to do with like profession stuff. But what you can do with it, since you don't craft stuff, you can go to the crafting order place, and you can look up if you want to get like a better just better mining equipment or better herbing equipment or whatever. Like you can get the blue version, like a
How do I get the blue versions of all? Because that's what I need.
That's I think it requires artisan metal. Sorry, we'll get on the league in just a second. I've got it pulled up here.
I am ready to get rid of this stuff for all the blue gear.
Yeah, it's it's expensive though. I think. Let me see. I think it off the top of my head, I think it's $225 per piece. Let me see. Weapons, profession equipment. Okay, here. And then
How much gold is it?
I don't think it's probably that much gold. Let me see. Mining. Which would you want to upgrade your mining or your herb first?
I mean, what do you think's more profitable? Probably.
I think herbs probably now. It used to be mining, but three of those herbs, anything that's not hawk and bloom, even that's like okay, but the other ones are like massive. Rice bark and then bubbles like 100. I think Wright's like 200 each, and then Sacks.
Yeah, Wright is what I specialize in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Wright is big time.
Do the herb one first. Let me know.
All right, let's say. Okay, so the Casgarite sickle. Oh. Okay, you gotta pay a little bit to upgrade the.
I figured you would.
Well, I don't know how much they're gonna want for a tip, but if you want the precise stat, I don't know which stat's best. Probably, whatever the probably finesse, I would guess. Whatever the one that gives you the chance to gather more. Yeah, it's 300 artisan metal for the scythe. Let me see. And 15 primal flux. I'm not sure what that is. I think that's enchanting. I haven't messed up. Okay, this is actually pretty steep. Probably 100 Ceravite. So that's like 1,200 ish gold. I don't know what Casgarite's going for. It's probably 100, maybe less each. So that's like 4,000. So looking at 5,000. I mean, that's not that bad in the grand scheme of things. And these primal fluxes, I don't know. maybe. So it looks like it's probably under 20k, but probably under 15k, and then 300 artisan metal. And it does plus 10 herb skill and 80 of the stat that you want, and that's level 1. And I think you can get it up to at least level 3, but I think it can go to 5. So it can probably get better than that. And then the accessories, like the smaller pieces. Now, these are interesting because these give you herb skill when you get blue, versus the green ones give you no skill whatsoever. So that's helpful. Those are 225, and I think those ingredients are cheaper. I don't know the cost on all of these ingredients that they have here, but I believe Omnium's not that bad. It's 4 of those. Vibrant Wilder Claw, super cheap. And the Wilder Thread, I think, is cheap. So yeah, it looks like it's 300 for the big item and 225 for one of the accessories. And all of them are probably less than 10k worth of mats. Now, if you have to get those tier 3 to level them up to the highest, it might be more. But anyways, that's what you would do the metal for. If you're looking for something to do metal. Okay, sorry for the random WoW chat. Let me get into the league here. Hey, what's up, Butter? Yeah, sorry I was running a little bit late also, guys. I missed the last day or two and have been a little inconsistent. I just had a crazy... Are you ready for me to start, Jason? League? Jason? Okay, we'll start. I just had a really crazy week with school and just family stuff. Not in a bad, well, somewhat in a bad way, as far as like my youngest daughter's been sick. All right, Sigs, we'll see. I might be able to play some Rakan. No, I can't hear you right now. But yeah, my youngest daughter's been sick, and so my wife and I took turns taking care of her. And it's just... And then Rory is just wanting to hang out more in the evenings, which is cool and everything, but it's like, I just haven't had any time to sleep other than the normal time that people sleep. So that's been kind of rough for trying to do the late night stream. But my school is just about done for content. For this semester, so I should be good. And then I'll do a tier list. And I'll try to get back to doing more guides and tier lists. It's just been I don't know where all the time goes sometimes. Get that shit out of here. We're not playing that.
Rifle as well?
Hopefully Jason will come back. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Okay, now I hear you.
There we go.
Okay.
I don't know what happened, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we should be back on track. I should be able to at least stream every night. I have not played since the new B patch. Is there anything crazy going on with that? I know Lux got pretty significantly buffed. Huh. No, I try. I do my best not to ever trash talk to students. In general, but especially in a public forum. Lux is really good. I thought she looked good. I haven't played it, but I just looked at those changes. I mean, Like, there are some half-assed submissions or whatever, but I think that, by and large, most of them are trying. Oh, just general? Yeah, I mean, not anyone specific. But I don't know. I don't think it's a good look for teachers to talk shit about students. Because, like, you know, we're supposed to, you know, be their advocate, be trying to help them and stuff like that. And the only time when I ever feel honestly negative about student is just if they're, like, overtly, like, absurdly rude to me. Like, consistently. Like, it's not just a bad day. It's like... But it's like extremely rare. That's like maybe one per year or something like that. Most of them are trying, and you know, I know it's a lot of them are just struggle with stuff too. The thing is, like, a lot of the kids that, you know, don't perform well in the class, I don't think it's because necessarily they hate the material or they don't like me as a teacher. I think it's just because they have just a lot of stuff going on in their lives. You know, there's a lot of stress, a lot of work. I mean, sometimes it's a lot of partying, but
Damn it. I thought this was gonna be Zed Jungle.
There are some students that make poor decisions. I'll say that. If you've been in the army and coming back, you know, military students are like my favorite students because they like always have their shit together and they're just like always very respectful and they'll do their shit. And really, in like an English 101, like, that's perfect. You don't have to be Shakespeare in English 101. In fact, some of the students that are the hardest to work with are the students who are overconfident, who think they are Shakespeare. And it's like, you're not. You're not, man. It's fine, but you don't have to pretend that you are. But no, it was a good semester overall. It does make me a little sad, some students that just like refuse to pass. Basically, I just tell them that is one thing where, I mean, it's sad, but I'm just like, just turn anything in. I will pass you if you just turn something in, like, that's even remotely close to on topic and the minimum word count. And then sometimes they just won't. Or like, there are a few students that are like right on the border of like a grade, like a C or a B, and I'm like, all right, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a week, just turn in these 2 completion grades that'll probably take you 30 minutes, and I'll bump your grade up. I'll take you from a C to a B or something. And then they just won't do it. I'm like, all right. I mean, I'm not like mad about it or anything, but it's just sometimes stuff like that is, I don't know. It is what it is. But it's like, I get it too. Like, I understand being burned out and just being done. But it does always make me a little sad, especially the students that like fail, where there's like no way in hell you should ever fail my class. But they will. But no, the ones that do turn in stuff, a lot of it, you know, I'm kind of, I would say fortunate, but it's like by design that I let them pick their own topics for like every essay. I just teach them how to improve their research and how to improve their writing, communication skills. The last project is a presentation, but most of them actually write about stuff they're interested in. And so they actually have like pretty interesting projects too. Like, there's very few, because I feel like a lot of times the projects that feel the worst are just people that are just, you can tell they're BSing their way through something they just don't care about. And it's like, I get it, but if, you know, if I'm letting you pick your own topic, hopefully that doesn't happen. So yeah, so most of the projects are actually pretty cool. I mean, some of them feel a little rushed occasionally, but they seem, at least, even the ones that seem a little rushed, are pretty interesting, and it seems like they got at least a little bit out of it, so I'm pretty happy with it. I know it's kind of a lame answer if you're just looking for some flame. Oh, the date went pretty well, but she's ghosting you now, Twos? Welcome to dating in 2022, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, the ghost phenomenon's real. I don't really know. It just depends. Like, there's so many little mind games and stuff that people play. Like, how much attention do you show? How much attention do you not show? I'd be so confused to be like, I don't know. I think you're cool. Let's hang out again.
I only believe in myself.
You'll be like, no, man, you didn't. You called her back within 1 or 2 days. You gotta wait 3 days. Something, you know? I don't know. There wasn't as much of that shit going on back in the day when I was dating. Back in my day, I mean, there was like some, I guess, where people just wouldn't, you know, call you back or something. But in general, if it was a good date, you just, you know. Fuck, are we dead? Okay, I think I'm gonna make it. I don't know. I don't know if I can do it, man. Are we getting chased? Alright. But I don't know. Pretty much every girl that I dated for a significant amount of time, I never really got ghosted, like, back in the day. Not that, like, I was so cool no one would ever ghost me, but I just don't think it was really a culture, and also, a lot of it, like, I met, of course, you met her in person, though. About to say, a lot of mine I met, like, in person, as well, and I think that has a lot to do with it, but I don't know. Well, it's up to you. I mean, you could block I mean, if you're tired of it, you could block her, or you could just, like, just wait, don't talk to her, then maybe she'll send you a message back eventually. Then you could just look at other things. I mean, yeah, that's true, Sigs. I think that is a huge phenomenon, is where it's just, like, there's so many, like, options or whatever that women have or perceive they have. I think I was talking about this on stream the other day. But I watched an Asmongold video where he was, like, reviewing someone else talking about, like, why Tinder is ruining dating. And, like, yeah, that was basically the gist of it, is a lot of girls are just constantly, you know, getting hit on by these, like, 9 or 10 guys also, because a lot of guys will just hit on, like, everybody, and they'll just, you know, a lot of those guys, those 9 and 10 players, you know, like, will have no problem hooking up with dozens or hundreds of girls. Like, so they'll just, you know, swipe and hit on everyone, and then, you know, a lot of girls will, you know, be getting this attention from these dudes, and they'll be like, oh man, this 9 or 10 guys, you know, like, hitting on me. And then, you know, they'll hook up with it, and then they get ghosted, then they think all men are trash. It's like, no, you're going for trash men that look good. Like, I mean, it is what it is. But then they think, oh, well, there's no way I can, you know, why am I going to date a guy who's a 6? Or God forbid, a you know, a 4. You know, if I've already got these 10 guys hitting on me. So it just kind of creates this, like, illusion that they actually have a chance of, if they're looking to, you know, lock down and have a real relationship, they actually think they have a chance with these really, like, guys that are out of their league. It's like, yeah, you have a chance to have sex with him, but you know, if the other 50 girls they're talking to, if all of their other, you know, 8s, 9s, and 10s are, you know, not responding to them that night, yeah, they'll go down the list until they get to you. But so they're just saying that it just puts a lot of strain on a lot of guys. And then a lot of girls kind of feel frustration too, because you know, they just don't understand how that game works or something. I don't know. Like, they think, again, they're like, oh, I can change him. He'll settle down for me. Oh shit! I probably should have just given up on that play. Oh god. Okay. Yeah, I went too hard on that. So, I mean, that's an interesting theory. I don't know if that's, like, the whole thing, but...
If you forget my name, just call for the Lord of Darkness. Prince of Evil, the Emperor of
How bad is it for a 20-year-old to go to date a 17-year-old? Well, check your local laws. But, I mean, it just depends on the people. I don't think every 17-year-old and, like, or every... That's always a bad idea in every situation. It just kind of depends on the girl and the guy. But you definitely want to make sure that it's not illegal. What? I let the ADC die? No, like, ADC was dead. There's no way I'm saving him there. Unless you're joking. I mean, I fucked up by, like, keeping that fight going. I should have given up. Like, we got the exhaust for my ult. That was fine. I should not have ignited and kept going. That's where I messed up. But, like, leaving at the point that I left was the right play. At that point in time. Because I would have died and would not have saved him. But I should have let the fight go and just traded ult for exhaust, and that would have been fine.
Perfection doesn't exist.
But, yeah, I mean, there are ways to do better, but, like, it is an uphill battle. Potentially with those sites, but yeah, you just gotta... It's just a numbers game. You gotta play the numbers game, and you gotta have, you know, just do the best you can. Like you said, you're working out a lot, work on that. Just work on some humor, just take it as a little dating experience, you know? Oh my god. Dude, this fucking Diana, man. She's always there. I had wards. Was she on a ward and I just didn't see her? Or did she, like, literally just come out of the bush? No, he doesn't. I asked him that question. He's not just randomly telling me. He probably looked it up, the age of consent. Like, I mean, like... I knew some people when I was a teenager that were definitely not innocent little princesses. You know, like, they knew what was going on. But there are some that are. I mean, it's so much of it just depends. When it's like a little bit older, a little bit younger. I mean, 3 years doesn't sound like a lot to me. It's been a while since I've been a teenager. I mean, 3 years when you're in your 30s is nothing. But, like, it is definitely a little bit different. I think it just depends on like their level of experience and maturity. As long as it doesn't feel like you're like scamming or taking advantage, but and it's legal within the law, it is what it is. Yeah, like what Faded said. It could definitely happen. Like, I've got, now this was back in the country, you know, way back in the day, but like my great, uncle and aunt, I don't remember, I think she was, God, I don't know the exact date, and it sounded pretty bad. I think she was like 15 and he was like 22 or something. Like mountain people. But I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. They've been married for like 70 years. They're both like 90. So, you know, sometimes I'm not saying I like necessarily condone that in 2022, but I'm just saying it depends on the people and kind of the culture and stuff like that. So it really just depends. Like I say, I think the spirit of it, definitely don't break the law, but the spirit of it is just don't take advantage of someone that clearly doesn't know what they're doing. Like, I think that's the big takeaway. With anything in life, but definitely, you know, in that type of situation for sure.
Good shit, Ez.
Yeah, that was good. Ezra's playing pretty well. We've just been kind of cucked by, Diana so many times.
Yeah. I feel that.
Wait. Who's banned? Who's Big Happy? I don't know what's going on. I missed something. I didn't ban anybody. If someone got timed, it was probably from Nightbot. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter how many viewers, right? Like, if someone comes in here and starts screaming the N-word and we've got 2 viewers, I'm banning them. I mean, I don't know what said or what was happened, but just the premise that, like, low viewers means anything goes is not necessarily something I subscribe to. I mean, I'm not doing it for the money. Like, I don't give a shit if it... that's even more of a reason in my mind to try to keep it relatively clean.
My bot, I guess.
Who got... Oh, I don't know. I'd have to go back and see. Was it a mod? Who? Is there even a mod on right now? I think you're saying Toos got timed for saying something by Nightbot, which is an automated system. It probably timed him just for cussing. We didn't ban Toos. I don't even think we have a mod on right now. Like, that's the only action I see on my screen was Toos getting timed for saying something. I probably just need to take off Nightbot though, honestly, because a lot of the language stuff isn't really that much of an issue. Why did Graves stay? I'm so confused.
Life sucks when I tell you, but it is less complicated.
Oh, South is banned? What? I don't know. I'll probably just disable Nightbot at some point. What do you mean great? Dude, you literally stayed in lane versus Vlad that had flash with like 10% HP. Oh, he flashed on me. How the hell is I supposed to know he'd do that? There's no such thing as free. There's always a price with free speech. Freedom of speech in terms of the law simply means that you can't be arrested for critiquing the government. But all speech has consequences. I don't know what taxing it means.
I'm waiting for one now.
I'm not a governmental entity. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what you're getting at. Like, YouTube can not do business with someone they don't want to do business with for any reason. Gone. Pretty sure. It's just like any other business, like Venture Man.
Perfection doesn't exist, except for my hair.
It's like someone could come up and say, hey, you want to buy this brick for $1 million? No, I don't. Okay. I mean, they have the right to say something. You have the right to say no. Or to, like, not do business with that person if you want to. As long as it's not, like, you're oppressing somebody by doing it. Like a protected class, or it's the government. I mean, the oppressing and a protected class, that's like the only thing that's gray. It's the same thing. Business is speech. I mean, technically, what someone writes down is not speech either, if you're gonna get really, you know, pedantic about it. That's written words. Can we beat them? I mean, they are kind of low, but I feel like Vlad's going to turn on us. What? How'd that miss? But it's like, speech is business to YouTube, though. Like, giving you a platform is business. It's their business. Like, you can still talk. YouTube is not stopping you from just talking, right? You know? If they ban you from your platform or someone bans you from a channel, no one's stopping you from talking. They're just saying, I'm not doing business with you on my platform. Because that is a form of business. Everything that you interact with on the platform reflects their brand, reflects their advertising. So, like, they're not physically in your house, like, putting duct tape over your mouth, you know what I mean? They're just saying that we're not going to entertain you on our platform. Talk all you want, but it's not going to be here. Just like if someone comes into your house or something and starts, like, just yelling stuff randomly, or even if they don't, even if they're just in your house and you don't want them to be there, you just ask them to leave. It's a private place. It's like YouTube is a private place. It's like all the I mean, the big thing that a lot of people, I guess, have failed to realize that, and this is, you know, a lot of the free speech people are also really like capitalism, but that's what capitalism is. Information has been almost completely privatized, and so because of that, these private companies can kick you off their platform for any reason. Like, they don't owe you anything. It's not the government. They're not beholden to you. You don't vote on them. It just is what it is, whatever the hell they want it to be. You can vote with your dollars. You can vote on, like, bills that might affect them as far as, like, the tech industry goes, but I mean, that's kind of what it is with privatized companies. They can do business with whoever they want. Again, with certain restrictions, depending on the context for protected groups, but that's like the only thing that's kind of gray.
Bad because I'm free, and I am free because I'm bad.
Ads are a business, correct.
Blazing by.
I thought I went. What the hell? I'm like got stuck.
That Vlad play. Yikes. What was that when he flashed and killed Graves? Internet doesn't... Do you mean the internet doesn't have as much information? No, the internet is private. It's not a government organization. That's what I mean. Like, my whole point is when people say free speech, that also applies to companies. Like, they are free also not to entertain your speech if they don't want to because they're not a governmental institution. Like, people are free to say whatever they want, but private companies are also free to run their business pretty much however they want. In regards to who they choose to offer a platform to and who they don't. Like, the government, in theory, has to grant you an audience or allow you in a public space to have an audience. Like, you're allowed to, in theory, again, I'm sure there are lots of places this gets tested all the time, but in theory, you're allowed to go as long as you're not significantly disturbing the peace or something, and, like, protest in a public square. Like, they are, at least, again, theoretically, legally, supposed to allow you to do that. Like, you're allowed to go, you know, in a public place and protest whatever you want. Hold up signs, critique the government, critique the president. As long as it's not like threatening violence or whatever, you're allowed to do that. In most circumstances, most of the time. But that's not the same place. Like, a public park, protesting there is not the same as protesting on a private platform. The private platform doesn't owe you anything. The government owes you stuff because you pay the government a lot of times. Again, theoretically. But these private companies, they don't have to even have a reason. They can just say, we don't like you, we're going to deplatform you. There aren't, like, very many legal protections for things like that. YouTube censorship is an issue? I mean, it depends on what you mean by an issue. Is it bad? I mean, it is what it is, right? Like, it's people... YouTube, it is very rare. Okay, so... Again, it depends on what you mean by censorship. That's a very loose word. So it is extremely rare for YouTube to completely ban somebody and take off their content, especially without warning. What they will do is demonetize you if you're doing stuff that it does not like. And by it, I mean the advertisers. YouTube really, for the most part, is just going to do stuff that's going to make the advertisers happy, and the advertisers are pressured by consumers. So it's very close to a form of democracy. So if you're doing stuff that advertisers don't like, if you're talking about stuff that advertisers don't like, YouTube will demonetize you. But that doesn't mean you can't keep making content, and that doesn't mean you can't keep making money. You just can't do it through ads. So you could, you know, some channels will run Patreons, they'll sell merch, they'll take outside sponsorships. You know, there are a lot of channels like that. Like one of those firearm channels or whatever, right? Demolition Ranch or something that I've watched from time to time. I'll virtually guarantee you he gets demonetized. Because they have a thing against firearms. But he sells all kinds of merch. He's probably got Patreon and, you know, all sorts of other stuff. I mean, a lot of people don't even use the default advertisements feature on YouTube if you're a big timer, because usually you can make more money by securing
Shall I turn in my badge and
like
rifle as well?
specialized deals. So when those people come in and say something like, you know, 2 minutes into the video, oh, today's video sponsor is Rolex, or, you know, some brand, they can't have other ads on there because it specifically asks you, do you have any other ads that you're asking or that you're like pushing? Because ads don't want unauthorized like cross-referencing. So in other words, you don't want, I don't know, something that's trying to market itself as a hyper leftist product or something like that being put together with a hyper right product on the same thing, right? They're not going to like that because it's going to piss off their different constituencies.
Hey, did you hear about Henry
Cavill?
Cavill? Yeah, what he's gonna be doing?
What is he doing?
They're gonna be making a Warhammer 40k series, and he is going to be the lead Space Marine.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
I think. I can't remember. I didn't really look at.
I'm glad he got something, man, because he seems like, I don't know him personally, he seems like a pretty cool dude, and he just kind of got screwed out of both of his deals.
He was just saying he's really passionate about Warhammer, so
That's awesome.
see how it goes.
So yeah, I mean, people like to act like, you know, you can't say anything conservative on YouTube, or like you can't have a platform. It's like Alex Jones can't have a platform because of a lot of stuff he did. I mean, I think he has his own platform though now. But yeah, I mean, like, there are people that do get kicked off that are very extreme, but there are lots of right-wing commentators and thinkers and stuff like that that are still on YouTube. Depending on what they say, they might get demonetized with ads, or demonetized from ads. And there are people that would be, you know, on the left that could get demonetized as well, depending on what their kind of content they're covering. But again, the default is, I think, nowadays it's moving more and more towards a lot of these big-time content creators, even if they're not formally demonetized, demonetize themselves by running personal ads, basically, because they get more money, presumably, from these individual companies, and they're less vulnerable to getting their ads yanked from YouTube. And they have more freedom with the kind of content they can do. So I don't think that, like, the advertisers have as much sway over the big-time content creators as people like to make it out. The way that their compensation is currently structured on YouTube. I mean, honestly, it's a big thing. Well, money. Yeah, of course, everything's about money, man. Obviously. On a platform like YouTube. I mean, YouTube doesn't like it if they get demonetized that much, because then they don't get a cut of that. So YouTube wants to monetize you because they want their cut. They get like a 50% cut of your ad revenue. So they're not happy when you're making money off of private deals, you know, on their channel. So as a platform, trust me, they want everybody to be able to say everything and do everything and get as many eyeballs as possible on YouTube watching ads. That's their goal. But the problem is the advertisers don't want that. Don't like that, because then they get boycotted from consumers. This all comes down to consumers, like this consumer agitation, consumer advocacy for stuff in the last 10 years, kind of the cancel culture, all of that. That's, if you're looking for somebody to blame, if you got to blame somebody for the current sort of state of stuff, that's where it all starts, I think. Is the consumers. Because advertisers also would love to, you know, put their advertisements as many places as possible, take on as many clients as possible, sell as much, you know, stuff as possible. But everything is highly politicized, highly, everyone's just, not everyone, but a lot of consumers, a lot of people are just very sensitive on all sides of any issue. And advertisers just want to stay out of it. They just do not want to be involved. Most of the time. Now, sometimes they obviously do get involved. Some of them do get involved, but it's just complicated. But, like, YouTube has to do that. Now, whether that's good or bad or whatever, again, that's, you know, debatable. But that's kind of how it is. But it's not censorship. I mean, like I said, it's a form of democracy at work. Sort of. It's really a bunch of loud people influencing a bunch of other people to convince them that they know what they're talking about. I mean, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But I mean, that's what democracy is in general. Democracy is never actually 100% of the population knowing everything about everything, making well-informed, rational decisions with their votes, right? Like, that never happens.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Doing the right thing was boring.
What? They block everyone and their mother. What do you mean? Who? What? I'm so confused.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
I mean, that's why, like, Aristotle, Plato, and them did not like democracy in Greece, because they thought that people, just in general, were too uneducated to make democracy work. But it doesn't work. Democracy... It's not the fact that people are well-informed and make good votes that makes democracy, like, a powerful political institution. It's the fact that it checks corruption better than most other systems, because people can be voted out. You know, is America, are there still, like, many corrupt actors and stuff? Sure, but compared to a lot of other major places, I would argue there's probably less. So it's not perfect, it's just kind of the best we have, I think, because of the, at least the potential for accountability. So it's not that people make, like, the best votes or the best decisions, but it's that they can constantly bring new people in and create change. In theory, right? If you have a king or something, that whatever else you want to call it, that's basically a king or a monarch or something that is not held accountable to the people, then you don't have as much change, and then you have a lot more potential for corruption. Am I living in the real world? Maybe. I hope so. I mean, it could be a simulation. Something I say sound like that irrational? Is that wrong? You think we should go back to having kings and queens here instead of democracy? It's like Russia's really living it up right now. With their basically king over there. Yeah.
Gonna go stare in the mirror.
That I think that's partially true, Faded. I mean, the best I can come up with. I think there is probably a real... China is not living it up. Dude, are you living in the real world?
But it is less complicated.
You seen anything that's going on in China lately?
An enemy has been slain.
I would not describe it as living it up. I mean, I'm sure there are some wealthy people living it up right now in China, but... Something about millions and millions of people taking to the streets and rioting
I did not rescue you.
and all that shit just leads me to believe there might be a little unhappiness over there. Especially because you can disappear and you can be tortured and murdered and your family disappears if you speak out in China. Unlike here,
Ally has been slain.
you do not have freedom of speech there,
Ally
and they will kill you. But people are still doing it. Like, that's pretty extreme. What do I mean? I support the opposite, which is strange. What does it seem like I support? I mean, I think it was consumer bad. I didn't say the consumer was bad. I said the consumer is the one who is agitating for these changes and for what they perceive to be accountability on the part of content creators. Some people will say that's bad, some people will say that's good. I'm just saying it is what it is. It's not censorship. And I was just saying it's like a form of democracy where the consumer's voting with their money, basically, by choosing to boycott or not support certain brands they disagree with. It's just a referendum on social policies. If a brand aligns themselves with something that's perceived to be some kind of social policy and consumers don't agree with it, then you know, they're basically voting them off, voting them out of office. Certain content creators or certain brands. YouTube is a monopoly. To say there is any policy is daft. What do you mean? Any policy for what?
An enemy has been slain.
There's not a policy. That's my point. It's just people choosing to buy certain products or not based on if they think it's affiliated with some cultural thing they disagree with. But that's it. I mean, consumers can spend their money however they want to spend their money. So I'm saying there's not a policy. It's just capitalism and democracy at work. And I just thought that it was ironic that a lot of people that critique that or complain about free speech are basically complaining about democracy and capitalism. Because it isn't doing what it wants them to do. When they try to tout free speech as being a part of capitalism and democracy, as being like the holy trinity of what America should be. It's like, oh, it's working. It's just not as you wish it would. Okay. I don't know if this conversation is going to go anywhere, because I just explained what censored is and isn't. So I'm not sure if we're going to agree on that. Like I said, yeah, I mean, YouTube, it is in YouTube's best interest to have as many people watching their platform and watching their ads as possible. As far as YouTube as a platform, that is what they want. That is where they make the most amount of money. They do not want to kick people off their platform. Okay. And they do not want to demonetize people because they get a cut of that money. So that's why I would contend that it's not YouTube, that YouTube's not happy with getting bullied by advertisers. Basically, or getting pressured by advertisers. They don't want that either.
Shall transcend.
What do you mean, why did YouTube get bought out by Google like 20 years ago? Because it was a cheap ass company. It would, I mean, YouTube wouldn't be anything without Google's algorithm and its data. YouTube really wasn't like that huge or that influential for quite a long time. But like, what do you mean control? YouTube doesn't have an agenda. It's a bunch of different content creators. I mean, I don't know. I just explained it, man. Their agenda is to make money. They make money by letting as many people talk as possible in an ideal world. But it's not an ideal world. That's what they did for a really long time. Not an ideal world for them. Again, a lot of people like that. A lot of people like the activism, and they see it as holding people accountable for stuff they've gotten away with for a long time. So it just depends on like what perspective it is. But YouTube itself, I mean, like, their business is getting people to watch their platform. So they don't want to divide people. They want everyone to be united in watching their platform. But they can't do that if advertisers don't support them. Advertisers, again, they also want to just be able to run ads everywhere as much as possible and get people to buy as much stuff as possible so their clients are happy, and then they buy more advertising. Like, all the business people want that. But as consumers that have started agitating for more of what they perceive to be as accountability for stuff that goes on the platforms, and for advertisers that are representing certain products. So again, that's what it is, man. It's not like these advertisers have a specific agenda, or YouTube has an agenda. It's whatever the customers and the consumers want. Basically, like, that's the agenda, is to make them happy. So they buy more stuff and spend more money and support their products. So that's what I'm saying. If you want to be mad at somebody about something, or you think there's some grand conspiracy, it's the consumers.
Turret plating will soon fall.
But it is less complicated.
Really don't see myself as a person? What do you mean? I'm so confused. Like, what is your critique? It starts getting, like, really existential for some reason when all I'm talking about is basic economics. It's like, am I real right now? Am I a person? What does it mean to be a person? It's like, dude, I'm just talking about people buying Coca-Cola. I'm just saying it's not like as cool of a grand conspiracy as people think it is with like what's going on with these platforms and deplatforming people. It's very simple economics.
An ally has been slain.
Or you could blame people that are like stoking the culture war. If you want to blame somebody like that, you can blame like people that are creating all of this like tension. If you want to blame somebody other than like consumers. And again, I'm not saying that I necessarily would blame consumers or that, you know, everyone is going to think that that's bad. There definitely will be some people who are tired of all the political stuff and just want people to just, you know, chill. But there are other people that would say, well, that's a good thing. No, I want more accountability, more politics, more whatever. It just depends on who you're talking to.
Self-control is restored.
I'm not mad. I'm just confused. I don't know, like, what I'm even arguing sometimes. Here. Shit, I should have let him go.
Shut down.
I mean, I'm talking to people, yeah. I'm not saying consumers aren't people.
Your turret has been destroyed.
I mean, that's my whole thing, is that it's people, like plural. It's a lot of people just making decisions, voting with their money. It's a like, I'm just saying consumers are a democracy. I'm just saying it's not some grand conspirator that Schmidt or whoever is the CEO of like Google right now is not trying to like, he's not working for the Illuminati. I know it's a lot more fun. I'm not saying that you're necessarily doing that, but I know like conspiracies are a lot more fun, but reality is just a lot simpler than that most of the time. Or I should say it's a lot less fun.
An ally has been slain.
I gotta reset this, I think. Pantheon is so fucking low. I think he was on the other side of the universe, though.
An enemy has been slain. Enemy killing spree.
I look at it in the app. I look at it in the abstract and say you're saying it's a human issue. That's literally the exact opposite. I'm saying it's a human thing, not like a single person or some abstract Illuminati or whatever. Exactly what I'm saying. It's a plural human thing. It's financial democracy. Says water isn't a human right. I mean, that's a completely different thing, man. There are corrupt CEOs. But we're talking about censorship and deplatforming. And what that's, like, a product of. I mean, I'm sure, like, Smith or whoever the hell's running Google, they vote. I'm sure they have, you know, political stuff they've said. Right? But their business model is to try to, like, keep as many people on the platform watching ads as possible.
Life is way more fun when you give up the rules.
Kill this idiot. Die. Let's have too many of these little bullshit champs. With Viego, Aatrox. What's up, Black? I don't know what you mean I forego the like, what is personal? What do you mean? Are you, what do you even, I'm still not 100% sure what you're arguing. I thought I was. So you're saying YouTube censors people too much? Was that what you started with?
Stars are just sad, lonely light.
YouTube censors people and that's bad.
Evolving endlessly in a cycle of age.
Is that the initial premise?
Anyone have chocolate? I'm craving chocolate. The universe tends towards chaos. I'm just helping it along.
I'm not sure where what I'm saying is like getting lost. Or like what kind of counter argument I should be. I don't know. Like I said, like as soon as I think I've kind of explained it, it starts to get like really metaphysical, which is fine. I just don't understand the connection. Okay, that's fine. If you don't drop it, that's fine. I mean, I don't mind talking about it. I think it's fun to talk about. I'm just not sure what I'm... where else to go. That looks bad. Fuck. Well, I guess I did. I tried to R to get over to him faster, and then E. I say, well, I mean, I say metaphysical, but what? How would you describe asking if I'm real right now? Or if I'm like a person? I don't know. Are you trying to say that me explaining economics is not as important as the fact that everybody should be able to say whatever they want, whenever they want, with no consequences and interacting with other people because they're individuals? And individuals should be able to do stuff without consequence in a public forum? Is that what... Like I'm losing sight of the individual by talking about economics? Like individual quote-unquote rights? Is that kind of what you mean? Pantheon's bottom. Like there's no way we can do this. I don't think. If it wasn't Aatrox and if Draven was just a little stronger... Pantheon's just such a fucking deadweight champion. He did okay in lane as far as like KDA, but he just doesn't do anything later in the game.
Dude, everybody's buying Ravenous Hydra like holy shit.
Yeah, because OP as fuck. They've nerfed it 2 or 3 times. It's such a terrible item design. It's like massive sustain, respectable AD. And insane wave clear. Yeah, even Jin's getting it these days. Double lift is kind of popularizing that a little bit. Nestle's literally the definition of an evil corporation. I don't know. I don't know enough about it to comment on Nestle specifically. Yeah, I didn't understand why it was so good on Jhin, but watching Double Lift, the reason is because for some reason they made it where each spell hit, each time a spell taps something, it triggers Ravenous again. It's not just 1 hit per cast, it's 1 hit per target. So like a Jhin grenade, when you throw it up a minion wave, it'll tap it like however many times, like 5 times for 5 triggers of Ravenous, and they all splash on each other. Or like when you throw your W through a minion wave, it splashes on all of them. Like that's what makes it stupid OP. They need to like minimum say it only does 50% damage to like minions and monsters or something like that. It would still be a good item even if it wasn't ridiculous wave clear. Yeah, that's why. I was watching Double Lift walk up against like he was clearing raptors in the jungle off of just Ravenous with like 1 grenade and a W. Are you good, Jason, or?
Yeah, sorry. I'll just change.
Okay.
I want to try this Jhin build with the freaking Ravenous Hydra.
I thought that might sound enticing. Let me see here. YouTube patrons are very old and they censor it. Okay, well you gotta remember, if you're talking about people who pay for YouTube, those are advertisers. Those aren't actual people. Except for like membership. You're talking like YouTube membership people. That's a little different. That's probably a very, very small percentage of a lot of revenue, but I don't think YouTube cares. Like, all they care about is the pressure from the advertisers. As far as like membership, I think they won't disable the membership unless you get like copyright strikes or something. Like I was saying, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube that violates their monetization policies. Like the one I mentioned before, like any gun channel like Demolition Ranch, that I've watched before, I'm pretty sure they can't run normal ads. But they still have other ways they support their channel. That's like what I explained for a while. Most people aren't doing normal ads anyways because you make more money just by negotiating individual ads yourself, right? By saying, this video is sponsored by X company, right? And then they do a little 30-second whatever that company is, because you don't have to give YouTube a cut of that, right? So right there, you're saving, in theory, 50%, even if you're getting paid the same amount. So you don't have to give YouTube a cut. It gets around ad blocker. And you don't have to worry about pissing off advertisers. So that means that you can say stuff that's politically hot. You can talk about guns. You know, there's a lot of different things you can do with that format. So a lot of people are already moving away from that. Regardless of whatever, you know, they say or do politically. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure there are some situations, like I'm sure it's not perfect, everything that they demonetize, but yeah, I mean, like with political commentary videos, like it's in their thing where they are going to demonetize that. But again, they could demonetize anything that's hot, that's going to create a lot of division that advertisers don't want to be associated with. They're going to demonetize it. But you can still make money through that and all these other ways I just mentioned. You can have a Patreon, you can sell merch. Like, there's so many ways you can make money. But yeah, if it's politically hot, they're probably going to demonetize it. Well, it's not even about misinformation or like what's technically real or not real. It's like they don't want that heat. Like, advertisers don't want that heat. And if advertisers don't want it, then like YouTube's going to demonetize. It doesn't mean you can't still make the video. You can, usually. It just means that advertisers don't want to pay you for it.
Let's dance.
What do you mean right and wrong? YouTube doesn't give a shit what's right and wrong. They're not in the business of that. They're in the business of making money. Hey, thanks, Chris. Again, YouTube, in an ideal world, they don't want any of this. They just want everybody watching their platform all the time, watching as many ads as their little brain can handle before it explodes. That's what they want. That is exactly what they want. But advertisers are not letting them do that. And advertisers aren't letting them do that because consumers aren't letting them do that. And why are consumers doing that? That's very complex. Are they right for doing that or wrong for doing that? That's very complex. But I think that advertisers and YouTube don't have a hidden agenda. They just want to make money. Now, some advertisers might, you know, or whatever. Like, there are going to be some advertisers that are bad or good or whatever. But I'm just saying that, like, in general, there's not a lot of stuff out there. Well, the ad blockers don't hurt advertisers because they're guaranteed to get so many shows when they pay. So, like, when an advertiser buys a block of ads, let's just make a real simple number. Let's say they buy 10. Then they're going to get 10 shows of that ad, period. So if you ad block one of those people, if you ad block the first person, that's who you watch is content creator number 1. They're just going to go to content creator number 11 and make sure that there are 10 shows. So the only person you're fucking over with ad block are the content creators that you watch. You're not screwing over the advertisers or the companies. They're going to get their ads shown.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
You're just screwing over the content that you watch. by running ad block.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Well, I can't read every single comment. I think I'm responding to the heart of most of what you said. But no, I can't read all of the comments and play the game and respond to them, like, instantaneously. I don't think YouTube is a sinking ship. It's like a top 5 most watched website in the world. What skin line would I like on Rakan? Battlecast or Metal Feathers? Yes, that would look cool. Like the Rammus one. But like with Rakan, I would love that. Like metallic Rakan or something. Elon Musk started to ignore what Twitter advertisers wanted. Yeah, it doesn't work out very well. Elon Musk, I think, is going to go down as like losing the most money in history, probably. He seems to be a genius inventor. But it's like, dude, hire a PR team and shut your mouth. Like, just stop. Like, he didn't have to become, like, a political icon. I don't know. That's what I think. I mean, some people might love it or hate it, but it's a lot of heat, man. There's a reason Michael Jordan never took sides in the 90s. There were sides in the 90s. I mean, it was obviously, you know, a different kind of time. And I'm not saying that taking sides is always bad, but it is, I'll say it's a very risky business decision to do that a lot of the time. Yeah, I mean, the business ideas themselves are kind of rough, but I think the biggest thing is just like, and it started before he went to Twitter, right? Like, he's just so active tweeting himself, and he just thought that, you know, he was above reproach. Body blocked.
Thanks, dude.
Got you. He's like, I'm rich as fuck. I can get on here and say what I want. And like, he could for a while, and he was very popular, and he still is very popular among a certain constituency, but then there were just some things that he talked about or some topics he came out about that just over time, he started making enemies, you know? And you didn't have to make those enemies. Like, the best battles are the ones you never have to fight. I'm not sure who said that. I'm sure it's a quote from somebody. Probably from Art of War. Something like that in Art of War. But yeah, it's like, you don't have to, like, make enemies. I mean, sometimes you do. It depends. But, like, he didn't have to. Anyways, I think it's getting rough. Because now so much in the media is like against him too. And it's become very in vogue and fashionable to hate on him in the media. Like, they're getting a lot of clicks, a lot of views. You don't want to be there most of the time. Very few people make it. When you got the bullseye on you. I've been censored? I don't know what you mean, man. Are you, like... Honest question, are you just high, man? I mean...
I don't apologize for doing my thing.
Are you using censored to mean indoctrinated? Because, like, I'm talking here, so if you're trying to say the university, if you're trying to say, like, I'm indoctrinated by the university to be left, Or are you saying I can't say the actual truth and I'm just making up a bunch of stuff because university's censoring me? I am somewhat more limited in speech because I'm a thoughtful professional and would like not to get fired. So there are certain things I'm not going to talk about. And there are certain things that, you know, we don't let people talk about on the channel because of that. I don't think any of that pertains to anything we've been discussing tonight, though.
Everything they hold and then laugh in their faces.
Okay. I can't tell sometimes. It's tough. So I've tried to get a lot better about assuming the best or just assuming a misunderstanding with anything anybody says, because it's really hard to read humor online. It's really hard if someone's first language isn't English. Not just in like the language, but in like the idioms and the culture and just like understanding stuff internationally. Or just even regionally or culturally. Some people even within the US, when they say certain things or just like mess around in a certain way, it just comes off differently. Like, people in the Northeast are a lot more kind of brusque to each other all the time, and that's just how they are. And they don't, like, see that as being that much of a problem. Like, just telling it how it is, or just potentially being what people in other regions of the country might consider, like, rude. They just think of it as, like, just a way of life, you know? So they're not, like, intending it to be abnormally disrespectful. It's just, like, a standard level of disrespect that everybody shows everybody, you know? That's kind of the stereotype in the Northeast, but... just like Southerner, you know, are kind of stereotyped to be sort of slow and, I don't know what you're talking. Just like, I don't know that mind games is the word, but just like, I don't have ult, or I don't have my W yet.
Nice turn, dude.
Whoa, no! I'm getting everything. Oh, we got him. But yeah, no, man, it's all good. It's fine. I mean, like I said, I don't mind talking about all this stuff.
Just so you know, I accidentally leveled up my W, not my ult.
Holy fuck. That's fine. Yeah, I'll just push this real quick and then... Alright. Alright, I'm backing. Well, the thing is, I'm always associated with the university, even if I never explicitly try to say where I work. You know, it's 2022. You're always representing your job, even when you're not there. Especially if you're in any sort of leadership position. I mean, if you're just like the stalker at Walmart or something, you know, maybe you won't be held accountable for what you say on social media. You might be, though. I mean, like I said, even way back in the day, like over a decade ago, when I worked at a restaurant, just a normal server got fired for taking pictures, or like some pictures of her. I don't even think they were her pictures. It was like her at a party drinking with a t-shirt with like the company's logo on it. She got fired because she was like drinking with, like, because it could look bad for the company. It wasn't even that bad. It wasn't like she was like naked on a bar, like, or naked from the waist down on a bar, like dancing or something, you know, or doing anything that scandal, or like shooting up heroin in the bathroom or something, wearing the t-shirt. And she was just like drinking with a beer in her hand. It's like going woo or something, you know, with a t-shirt on, with that shirt on, and she got fired. Because that was against company policy to represent the brand while you're out drinking. I don't know about Frozen Heart, but yeah, I've been trying out Radiant. I've been really impressed. The thing is, it's expensive, which kind of sucks. Oh, I guess he's giving up. Do you have ult?
I do, but I don't know if we kill him.
Yeah. It's fine. Just tap him, get him to use his ult. I don't know about tank boots, maybe. But yeah, I like it in general. It does heal for a lot. It does do quite a bit, especially in kind of longer games. It's almost like Tank Moonstone 2.0. I don't know if I can hit him. If I hit him, maybe I go for him when he tries to get this cannon. Alright, got. Well, fuck, no. It's just, it's so hard to get him. Because if he's in the motion of doing his E, even if I knock him up, he gets to complete it. Like right there, I totally hit him before he E'd away. Both times, because that's why he took damage. But it's got that Season 1 squirrel coating. Or he gets to buffer. I don't get to fucking buffer. That's what I need to do with Rakan. When Rakan finishes his motion to his W, he should get to complete his upward motion no matter what. If he gets all the way horizontally to his destination. Alright, Echo's right there. Might be too OP, honestly, but... What is it? The Stalker at Walmart. Did I say it with my southern drawl? Stalker. Yeah, if you're the stalker at Walmart, I don't know. I guess it depends on if people know you're stalking or not.
Rip.
Got him. I was kind of scared of trying to hand that off because he still had his ult, but it worked out. Frozen Heart, I feel, is just kind of a trap. I don't know. It does get a lot better because you have so much health with Radiant, though. So I could see that. It's just like the mana just feels really bad. I'd probably rather still have Knight's Vow because you kind of want to get more health because Radiant scales based on max health, and like the shield that you get also scales based on max health. Or not the shield, but the infusion of health you get. Yeah, it's 3 seconds. Let's go ahead and push this and get next dragon, I think. Wait. I wanted to go for him, but... How does Rakan look like an angel of death? Does he? I don't think so. I mean, that'd be kind of a cool skin too, but I've got ult. I don't know where Dinger is. Okay, yeah, we probably get him. So it's weird, like, usually if you have a lot of health, you would also want a lot of resistances, but, like, with Radiant, you kind of want more health because it scales with health. Yeah, you probably don't have time. Echo's going to cover it, I think. But I don't know, maybe. I mean, if they have a lot of, if you get a lot of value out of the attack speed debuff, pretty sweet. I mean, Ionians, if you can get away with it, is a really good combo too, because the more ults you get, the more you get to use your Radiant Virtue. So obviously it only works when you use your ult. So you really want like Ulti Hunter, Ionians, and then stuff with like more ability haste. I don't have ult, but damn. I wish he would have flashed that wall, so we could have got him to waste his flash. This Cassin's popping off. Dude, this Dinger's trolling, man. Whoa, Cass? Okay. I haven't tried Chem Tank yet. Is that a mythic? No, it's not a mythic now, right? Maybe I should consider that. Or is it still a mythic? It's not, right? I think it's either Radiant or Shirelia's is what you go on Rakan now. If it's not a mythic, maybe on the Chem Tank. It's a lot of magic resist. But you know, if that makes sense, that could be, like, pretty good. Man, Malphite's just gonna fucking ult me. I don't have any mana. No! Couldn't quite get you. Oh my god, that thing's tanky. Okay. Damn. I accidentally double tapped the shield. I don't know. There probably was some combination where I could have saved you there. I think I wasted half of my shield. I was just so low on mana, I couldn't do anything. That is a problem with Radiant. Those really, really long fights. You just don't have mana. I don't know. I just think I'm just a huge sucker for Knight's Vow. Because it helps your, like, a person out quite a bit by redirecting a lot of damage over to you. Regardless if they're AP, AD, Assassin, whatever. It's cheap. Huge fat stack of health to help out with the Radiant Virtue. $20 ability haste. Alright, nice. I don't think... Yeah, exactly. I think there are a lot of good options. I guess they're just giving us third Drake. We just gotta make sure they don't get Baron. Okay, yeah. Getting that's probably the right play. Hey, rotate over here and grab these raptors real quick. While we're waiting on Sej. I think we can get him, maybe. No, big raptor! Yes. Alright, let's get over there. Whoa. Oh, they gave up. I was like, damn, dude, you really want to help with that dragon. It'd be hilarious. You just like one shot,
Right.
sniped it from him. What? Some ad. It's like nerds. Oh yes.
That's probably not good for me though.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, I gotta get up tomorrow, but I'll catch you tomorrow for
Hey,
sure.
hey, yeah, and hit me up if you want to try to do any mythics or raid or anything. I've got got like 1 or 2 conferences just kind of spread out during the day, but I can probably make it happen.
Mythics for sure. I'll get a hold of you.
Okay. All right, man. I'll see you.
See you.
Okay, and that's gonna be it for tonight. Thank y'all very much for coming out. It's fun conversations, even if I didn't always fully understand like exactly where we were going. It's always fun to talk about it, think about it. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, Dragonfly. I wasn't really sure about the theme, and I still don't entirely like follow the story. I don't know the back history of all these dragons. Yeah, you too, man. Even though it seems like we were probably disagreeing about some things, I'm still not entirely sure if we were. But it was still fun talking with you. But yeah, I'll have to try the raid out. But yeah, I'm loving the crafting system. The dungeons are fun. The kind of ambiance, the zones are cool. So yeah, I'm definitely digging it. But anyways, okay. Well, that's gonna be it. Thank y'all very much. I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully a little bit earlier, maybe around 11:30 or 12. We'll see. But and I'll see if I can do a tier list as well. I know it's been a little while, but I'm gonna try to get back on track. Get more channel content cranking out, and come out here and hang out with you guys. Make sure I'm out here every night. So, anyways, thanks. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.